Welcome to the newest reading vlog here on the officially unofficial Geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn, and I am the OUG, best believe. Um, Today is a very interesting addition to the reading vlog. I bought this because I was like, you know what? I'm living in Indianapolis. I should have read some of this particular writer. This particular writer is a American classic writer, meaning this is one of those ones that everybody talks about being in one of their top author lists, especially of American authors. Um, he is, of course, Kurt Vonnegut. Um, I never read Slaughterhouse-5 before. And one day when I was in Indie Reads, which is a local bookstore here in Indianapolis, they had a whole section of new Kurt Vonnegut books, kind of in the similar packaging, cover format. And I was there for a poetry reading and workshop, and I usually, every time I'm in there, I try to buy something small um, for that. And when I'm in there for that event, I usually try to buy something small, to support the bookstore because they actually do a lot of like philanthropy work involving literacy here in Indianapolis and Indiana. So I try to support them as much as I can by at least buying something small. Now, I bought this book. It was just under $10, including tax, probably just over $10. Um, and it's a lovely. I love the concept of the cover, and everything. And like I said, they had a whole mess of different books that he wrote in this kind of format, like and yeah. So I was like, okay, everybody talks about Slaughterhouse-5. And I look at it, I pick it up, and I'm like, you know what? This is going to be a quick read. It's 215 pages in this volume, in this cut. Um and yeah, it's going to be just quick, right? I bought that a couple months ago. And I started reading it right away. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is a heavy book. But let me tell you just a snippet about Kurt Vonnegut before we move forward with this whole thing. Kurt Vonnegut was born November 11th. Oh, November 11th. He was a recent birthday boy. Happy belated and posthumous birthday, Mr. Vonnegut. Like I said, born November 11th, 1922. He died April 11th. Wow. 11, kind of a day for him. Okay. Um, 2007. Was American author, best known for his satirical and darkly humorous novels. That's directly from the Wikipedia. He was his published works. Okay, let me keep going on this one. His published works includes 14 novels, 3 short story collections, 5 plays, 5 nonfiction works over 50 plus years. Further works have been published since his death. His full name is Kurt Vonnegut Jr. He was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, if you're a Kurt Vonnegut fan and you're ever in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, you should check out the Kurt Vonnegut Museum, which is downtown in Indianapolis. I have not had a chance to go, but now I feel like I can go now because I've at least read one Kurt Vonnegut book. He is known, like I just mentioned, for satire, humor, science fiction. He was part of the postmodernism literary movement, and yeah, he's got a lot of interesting things about him. He actually enlisted in the military, and he served in, let's see here. Yeah, he served in World War II, which is really interesting about Slaughterhouse-5 because Slaughterhouse-5 takes place a lot around the bombing of Dresden. If you don't know anything about the bombing of Dresden or any of the bombings that kind of ended World War II, I suggest you do a quick little Google search and look into that. It's very, very catastrophic consequences of that whole thing. Um, so yeah, and if you're ever in Indianapolis, there's that museum, which I feel like I can go ahead and visit now since I have finally read a Kurt Vonnegut book. Um, but I'm going to tell you right now, Slaughterhouse-5, I thought I was going to read this like because of how short it was, but I really needed things to kind of break up the heaviness of this book. So basically, it follows Billy Pilgrim through different points in time. And Pilgrim is suffering horribly from some really bad PTSD from his involvement in World War II and how he was captured by the Germans and held prisoner and everything that happened. And the character was there during the bombing of Dresden and how he came back and everything that happened in his life and how it always reflected back to what happened to him in his thoughts and his memories, to his time in the war in Dresden, specifically in Slaughterhouse-5, which is basically they were keeping these prisoners in these buildings, these warehouses, and each of them were marked Slaughterhouse, blah blah blah, and on down the line. And he specifically stayed in Slaughterhouse-5. Now, what happened to Billy as a result of the war and everything that happened to him, even after that, um, Billy had some very extreme PTSD that caused hallucinations that would equate to he hallucinated that he got abducted by aliens and that because of him being abducted by aliens, he could time travel. And what's really interesting about his moments of time travel is they seem very much like repressed memories coming forth from bouts of major PTSD. So it's very much a cautionary tale involving the dangers of war, um, and not taking care of people in their minds after being in war. It's also, there's also some humorous parts in here. And it's really strange to be sitting here and you're reading this really heavy novel, and Kurt Vonnegut says something and in his writing, and it's just like, that's kind of funny. And you're just like, oh crap, this is also about trying to find the humor in tragedy. And I was totally thrown aback by it. And there was never a moment where I was regretting reading this. I still don't regret it. You can tell it's an American masterpiece for a reason, but it's just not one of those things that somebody, I don't think that there's a lot of people, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just hypothesizing here, that this is an easy read for anyone. It's not an easy read, at least in this reader slash author's opinion. Um, but it's a read that is worth it overall. And I didn't want to take up too much time talking about this today. I didn't want to take up too much of your time talking about this. I wanted to instead invite you to go check out Slaughterhouse-5 if you've never read it, and maybe consider reaching out, and if you're able, doing some philanthropy work, or reaching out to a local charity organization that helps veterans coming back from war. We still have that going on. We still have veterans coming back from war that have PTSD. We have older veterans that served in the first Gulf War, or even older veterans that served in Vietnam. And, while a lot of the greatest generation is dying out, people that were in World War II and Korea, sometimes you can find people that still exist and you can talk to them. You don't have to talk about the war, just talk to them. You know, if you can do that, or if maybe you don't have time that you can spend, maybe you can throw some money at them if you are so able. I want to try to influence people to, while I don't agree with a lot of the government and everything, while I don't agree with a lot of what they do, I do support our armed forces, and we really need to take care of them. I think everyone can agree on that. Everyone with a heart can agree on that. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this with a call to people to just be there for each other, at least. Just be there, be kind. You don't know what somebody else is dealing with. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm going to say about Slaughterhouse-5. It's worth it. Just don't go into it like me thinking it's going to be an easy, quick read, because you might be surprised like I was. But yeah, until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. So go out there and make a difference. My name is Carrie Quinn. This has been the reading vlog for the Officially Unofficial Geek channel. And I'll be seeing ya. Bye-bye.